Gnosis.
Hello there, it's TNG, back for episode 5 of A Conversation. Now, after a little trouble on YouTube with the last episode, for some reason they didn't quite like my idea of having a conversation with old Adolf Hitler, but never mind, let's move the next controversial figure. And today's controversial figure is, of course, Aleister Crowley. Now, before I carry on and have the conversation with Mr. Crowley himself, obviously AI Crowley, I'm just going to go through a few things. Aleister Crowley is often referred to as the Great Beast, and he was a complex, controversial figure whose work has been celebrated and demonised. To understand Crowley accurately, I delved into his own writings and primary sources, like the Book of the Law, which is Liber au Vel Legis, his essays, autobiographical writings such as the Confessions of Aleister Crowley, and his prolific contributions to esoteric and mystical thought. So what were his beliefs and philosophies? His core beliefs and philosophical framework was thelema as a guiding philosophy. Crowley's primary contribution to spirituality is thelema, encapsulated in the dictum, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," and also, "Love is the law, love under will." These ideas emphasise discovering and fulfilling one's true will or spiritual purpose, rather than mere indulgence in personal whims. Thelema advocates personal sovereignty balanced with a recognition of universal interconnectedness. Rejection of traditional morality. Crowley rejected conventional religious and moral systems, particularly Victorian Christianity, which he saw as repressive and hypocritical. Instead, he proposed a radical re-evaluation of human potential, rooted in personal experience and esoteric exploration. A spiritual liberation through magic. Crowley's magic, intentionally spelled with a K to distinguish it from stage magic, is the art and science of causing change in accordance with will. He saw magic as a means of spiritual exploration, empowerment and self-actualization. Far from being pure evil, his magic often included deep meditative practices, yoga, ceremonial rites and the quest for divine union. And there was a pantheistic and esoteric view of divinity. Crowley's view of the divine was fluid and multifaceted. He revered ancient Egyptian, Hermetic and Eastern traditions. Never heard of the history hoax then. He often equated the divine with an impersonal, universal force or higher consciousness, rather than a personalised deity. In the Book of the Law, he introduces deities like Nuit, which is infinite space, Hadit, the point of consciousness, and Ra-Hor-Kut, a martial but transformative force of nature. But what were Crowley's views on reality, the earth realm, and mankind? Well, for Crowley, reality was multidimensional. For Crowley, reality was not confined to the physical realm. His magical system proposed the existence of astral planes, spiritual hierarchies, and dimensions of existence that could be accessed through ritual, meditation, and altered states of consciousness. The earth as a playground for will. Crowley believed the earth was a crucible for spiritual and material evolution, life on Earth provided opportunities for individuals to explore, discover their true will, and overcome limitations imposed by society, ignorance, and fear. Human potential and divine nature. Humanity in Crowley's view was not fallen or sinful, but filled with untapped divine potential. He saw each person as a star, capable of shining brightly in their unique path when aligned with their true will. His often quoted declaration, "Every man and every woman is a star," summarises this perspective. Crowley used to critique herd mentality. Crowley criticised what he saw as the herd mentality of most people who conformed to societal norms without questioning them. He believed this conformity stifled creativity, individuality, and spiritual growth. There were many misunderstandings and allegations during and after Crowley's life. The Satanist label. Crowley was not a Satanist in the traditional sense of worshipping a devil or advocating evil. The accusations stemmed from his rebellion against Christianity and his provocative use of symbols and language. For instance, he occasionally used Christian concepts like the beast to describe himself, but these were often meant to shock and challenge societal norms, rather than literal affiliations with Satan. But there were occasional missteps. Crowley's life included controversial behaviour, including drug use, sexual libertinism, and financial irresponsibility. These aspects, along with his deliberately provocative self-branding, made it easy for critics to dismiss him as a charlatan or villain. However, these personal flaws do not negate the depth of his philosophical and mystical work. He had a focus on transformation over destruction. Despite his critiques of religion and society, Crowley's philosophy was not nihilistic. It sought the transformation of humanity and the world into a place where people lived authentically, freely, and in harmony with their spiritual paths. So without further ado, and with the wonders and magic of AI, it's time to meet Aleister Crowley himself. Good day, sir.
Greetings, TNG. So good to be here.
Mr. Crowley, thank you for engaging in this conversation. To begin, could you share your understanding of the nature of the universe? Is it a mechanistic system, a divine creation, or something else entirely?
The universe is far more than a mechanistic contraption or a mere divine whim. It is a manifestation of infinite potential, a complex interplay of forces seeking balance and expression. In the Book of the Law, I wrote of Nuit, the boundless expanse of space, and the infinite possibilities contained within. She is the matrix of all existence, infinite and eternal. Her consort, Hadit, represents the point of consciousness, the individuated spark of divinity that seeks to unite with her. The universe, then, is a divine dance of opposites, order and chaos, unity and multiplicity, forever creating, destroying, and recreating itself.
That's fascinating. Where then does humanity fit into this cosmic interplay? What is the nature of the human soul in this framework?
Humanity is not separate from the universe. It is an integral part of this grand design. Each individual soul is a star, a unique point of consciousness within the infinite cosmos. The soul is not some fallen or imperfect thing awaiting salvation, as the Christian dogma would have you believe. It is divine by nature, imbued with the spark of Hadit. Our task, if you will, is to discover our true will, that unique course through the stars that aligns us with the universal current of Nuit. The soul is eternal, transcending the limitations of the flesh. Yet it is here in the crucible of physical existence that it learns, grows, and perfects itself.
This idea of the true will seems central to your philosophy. How does one come to know their true will? Is it an intellectual pursuit or something more intuitive?
Knowing one's true will requires a balance of discipline, intuition, and exploration. It is not an intellectual exercise, though the intellect may serve as a tool in this endeavor. To discover it, one must cast off the fetters of societal conditioning, the false identities imposed by religion, culture, and fear. Meditation, ritual, and magic are among the methods I have outlined to pierce through these illusions. True will is not merely what you desire, but the very core of your being's purpose, your reason for existing. It aligns with the larger cosmic order, ensuring harmony rather than conflict. When you act in accordance with your true will, the universe itself conspires to assist you.
If every person is a star with a unique purpose, how do you view the interconnectedness of humanity? Are we isolated in our individuality, or is there a greater unity?
Ah, a wise question. Though each star shines with its own light, the stars form constellations, patterns of profound beauty and meaning. Humanity, too, is interconnected, though the threads of connection are often obscured by ignorance and selfishness. The Thelemic axiom, every man and every woman is a star, implies not isolation but mutual respect. True individuality does not breed division. It fosters harmony when each person lives in accordance with their true will. Think of an orchestra. Each instrument plays its part, and together they create a symphony. So too is humanity's potential, if freed from the chaos of conflict and ignorance.
That sounds almost utopian, yet much of the world today seems to be governed by greed, fear and suffering. What, in your view, is the purpose of life amid such conditions?
Life's purpose is not to eliminate suffering or avoid discomfort, for these are but transient phenomena. The purpose of life is to experience, to learn and to ascend. In the alchemical sense, life is the furnace in which the soul is purified. Challenges, struggles, and even failures are essential to this process. They are the friction that polishes the diamond. The suffering you speak of stems largely from ignorance, people living against their true will, consumed by desires and fears that are not truly their own. Thelema offers a remedy. Discover your true will, live authentically, and the world will reshape itself accordingly.
That seems profoundly optimistic. Do you believe the universe itself is conscious? And if so, does it have a purpose for humanity?
The universe is conscious, but not in the anthropomorphic sense. It is a vast intelligence, infinitely complex and utterly impersonal. It does not care for humanity as a parent might care for a child, but it offers us the tools to awaken and realize our potential. Its purpose, if we may call it that, is self-expression and self-realization. Humanity, as a part of this universe, shares that purpose. Our lives are threads in the tapestry of Nuit, each contributing to the unfolding story of existence.
What would you say to those who fear your teachings, who label you a Satanist or an advocate of darkness?
Fear is born of ignorance, and ignorance breeds hatred. Those who label me thus do so because they misunderstand. I have never worshipped Satan or any devil. These are childish inventions of those who misunderstand the duality of existence. I seek not darkness for its own sake, but balance. One cannot know the light without embracing the shadows. My work, provocative as it may seem, is a call to liberation, to courage, to mastery over one's own destiny. Let those who misunderstand me study my works for themselves. The truth speaks for itself.
This theoretical exchange reflects Crowley's philosophy as expressed in his works, emphasising the importance of individuality, interconnectedness and spiritual growth, while addressing common misconceptions about his teachings. Mr. Crowley, turning our attention to the state of civilisation, how do you perceive its current trajectory? Are we moving forward? Are we moving toward enlightenment, or are we headed for ruin?
Civilization as it stands is at a crossroads. On one hand, humanity teeters on the brink of ruin, enslaved by greed, ignorance and fear. The masses cling to outdated dogmas and systems of control, perpetuating cycles of war, poverty and spiritual stagnation. On the other hand, there is an undercurrent, a hidden force stirring within certain individuals and groups. This force is the awakening to Thelema, the recognition of true will and the potential for spiritual evolution. The question is not whether enlightenment or ruin will prevail, but whether humanity has the courage to choose freedom over bondage, light over stagnation.
What do you mean by freedom over bondage? How does humanity liberate itself from these destructive patterns?
Freedom begins with knowledge, knowledge of the self, of the cosmos, and of the forces that shape existence. The chains that bind humanity are often self-imposed, blind adherence to religion, to politics, to societal norms that serve no higher purpose. To liberate oneself is to cast aside these illusions and to embrace the path of self-discovery and self-mastery. Each individual must ask, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my true will? When a critical mass of individuals lives authentically, the collective fabric of civilization will transform.
Do you believe this transformation is inevitable, or does humanity risk destroying itself before such awakening can occur?
Both possibilities exist, and the outcome depends on humanity's choices in the coming decades. The forces of destruction, greed, fear, and ignorance are formidable, but they are not insurmountable. Remember, every star burns brightest when it is near extinguishing. Crises often precede great awakenings. If humanity can embrace its potential for spiritual and intellectual growth, if it can discard the false gods of materialism and petty power, then a new era, a thelemic aeon, may dawn. But if it persists in its blindness, then ruin will follow, as night follows day.
You've mentioned the Aeon of Horus in your writings. How does this fit into your view of civilization's future?
The Aeon of Horus represents the age of the individual, the sovereign star. Unlike the preceding aeons, the Aeon of Isis, marked by maternal worship, and the Aeon of Osiris, defined by sacrifice and submission, the Aeon of Horus demands self-realization and personal responsibility. It is an era where humanity is called to recognize its divinity and act accordingly. This is not a guarantee of enlightenment, but a call to action. The forces of this aeon are already at play, breaking down old structures and creating space for new paradigms. Yet, as with all transitions, there will be resistance, and chaos will precede order.
What role does technology play in this evolution? Is it a tool for liberation or a source of further enslavement?
Technology is a neutral force. It can be both liberator and oppressor. It has the potential to connect humanity, to disseminate knowledge, and to free individuals from drudgery, allowing them to focus on higher pursuits. But it can just as easily become a tool of tyranny, used to surveil, control, and distract. Its value depends entirely on the consciousness of those who wield it. If guided by true will, technology can accelerate humanity's evolution. If misused, it will amplify humanity's worst tendencies, hastening its downfall.
If you were to offer practical advice to humanity on how to carve out the best path forward, what would it be?
First, every individual must commit to discovering their true will. Without this foundation, progress is impossible. This requires honesty, courage, and discipline, qualities sorely lacking in the current age. Second, humanity must dismantle systems of control that serve no purpose other than the aggrandizement of the few at the expense of the many. This includes not only political and economic systems, but also the mental and spiritual prisons of superstition and dogma. Third, cultivate love, not the sentimental, self-serving kind, but the love that arises from understanding the interconnectedness of all existence. Remember, love is the law, love under will. Finally, embrace creativity and innovation. The universe is a canvas, and humanity is its artist. Your task is to create, to express, and to manifest the divine within you.
That sounds both challenging and inspiring. One final question. Do you believe that the ultimate purpose of civilization is to create a utopia?
Utopia, as most conceive it, is a childish fantasy, a world without struggle, conflict, or growth. Such a place would be stagnant and lifeless. The true purpose of civilization is not to create a static perfection, but to facilitate the continual evolution of the soul. Struggles, challenges, and even failures are essential to this process. Civilization should provide the tools, the freedom, and the inspiration for individuals to realize their potential. When humanity collectively aligns with this purpose, you will not have a utopia, but you will have a civilization worthy of the stars.
Mr. Crowley, your insights are profound and thought-provoking. Any parting thoughts for those seeking to navigate the challenges of our era?
Courage, my friend. The path of the star is not without peril, but the rewards are beyond imagining. Walk boldly, love deeply, and remember, The universe is vast, but it begins and ends within you. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley. Your insights are both challenging and enlightening. Any final thoughts for those seeking to explore your philosophy?
Seek your true will with relentless determination. Fear nothing, for every fear is but a phantom. And remember, love is the law, love under will. If you hold to this, you shall know yourself and the universe as one.
This reflects Crowley's emphasis on individual and collective awakening, the challenges of transitioning into the Aeon of Horus, and the practical steps humanity might take to shape its future consciously. It combines his visionary optimism with a sober recognition of humanity's struggles. Aleister Crowley remains a polarising figure because he challenged norms and embraced paradox. His work was both mystical and scientific, rooted in deep esoteric traditions, but also keenly aware of modern psychological and social dynamics. He encouraged individuals to look beyond dogma and explore their own spiritual and creative potential. To understand Crowley is to grasp the nuance in his teachings. He sought to liberate humanity from the chains of ignorance and conformity, not to enslave it in darkness. Misunderstandings often arise because of his flamboyant personality and the moral panic surrounding his era. But his works offer profound insights for those willing to delve beyond the surface. I'll see you at the next episode. It's goodbye for now.
The path of the star is not without peril, but the rewards are beyond imagining. Walk boldly, love deeply, and remember, the universe is vast, but it begins and ends within you. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Seek your true will with relentless determination. Fear nothing, for every fear is but a phantom. And remember, love is the law, love under will. If you hold to this, you shall know yourself and the universe as one.